Moving right on into the draft, a little past halfway done. EG showing us an Ogre Magi and a Jakiro pickup. And love that Jakiro picked up early on, I should say, for them or for anyone else. Also going to go ahead and grab a Skywrath Mage now to go with it on the other side. Empire has the Tide Hunter, the Witch Doctor, and the Venge, and now a Slardar. So they're going with a very, very aggressive lineup against this EG squad. And already, at least, I would say just across the board, save for the Slardar pick, this looks like an Eastern draft on both sides until the Slardar.
Yeah, Skywrath is going to give EG a lot of early fighting potential. It's not the most tanky lineup as far as EG is concerned. They do have 2 more picks to go. But then again, actually, Ogre, Magi, and Jakiro are actually pretty tanky as supports. I do imagine, though, that Jakiro won't be a support for EG. It's probably going to be Universe in the offlane. One of their most favorite heroes in this meta right now, alongside with the Ogre Magi. Slardar, it's going to be a lot of negative armor coming out from their side with the Vengeful Spirit and the Slardar. So very easy, fast Roshan. Also, if Slardar does get a good start with the Blink BKB, I think they can just run at heroes. And just be very effective. It's one of the quintessential snowball type of heroes, is that Slardar. The only problem that most people have with him is that if you don't snowball, he's just not the most scary hero in the late game. It's like there's a lot of better options to have in place of him. So if he does snowball well, I think that he can be a very warranted pick because of the fast Roshan and steals that you can do with the negative armor. It's like a ridiculous amount of negative armor, by the way. It's 10, 15, 20. So negative 20 armor for level 3 amplified damage.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. And the one thing that I see some players, and it just comes down to preference, I guess, but what I can't stand is anything that's like Vanguard Blink. Like when you delay your Blink that much on a Slardar, it completely crushes your combat potential in the mid game. What you want to do with the Slardar, as you mentioned, he's just so good. His skill set is excellent at just getting on targets and blowing them up early. Like you're talking level 6, level 7, level 8. That early, if he has a Blink, he can be so impactful. And when you delay that by going with, like an early BKB or going like Ogre Club, I've seen players do that a lot. They go Ogre Club just to tank up, and then they end up getting their Blink right after that. Then they finish their BKB. I still feel like that's delaying it way too long. And that's exactly what I'd like to see out of Empire. Just go straight up treads, Blink. Treads, Blink, and you are ready to go. And they're going to need to be ready to go because EG with this squad, with the Doom, is going to be able to make up a lot of time and farm. And as you said, Slardar is not a hard farmer. He is not a hero that you pick and then get a kill or two and then you go farm a lane with him. He just does not work as well that way whatsoever. You want him perpetually active and roaming around with the Witch Doctor, the Venge, and to a certain extent the Tide as well if they want to go for big initiates. For EG, though, assuming this is a tri-lane Slardar, assuming it's Witch Doctor, Venge, and Slardar, I think they actually have the option to go aggressive here. Skywrath and Jakiro, with the Jakiro at the front of it, and Skywrath and Ogre Magi with the Jakiro at the front of the aggressive tri-lane. I feel like you could really confound a Slardar there. And the Witch Doctor and Avenge are not bad supports. They are fighting supports. But these are heroes that EG is very good at. And EG is going to be able to put to use. That would free up a solo lane for the Doom, which now that I think about it, though, that would put the Doom one-on-one with the Tide. So that might not be a situation you want.
Yeah, it might not be a situation you want, but it might be a situation that they're willing to put themselves in, just because I do agree with you. I think that Skywrath, Jakiro, Ogre is a very strong trial. If they did do that, I think they're going to do like a level 1 smoke shenanigans late on the Skywrath and the Ogre. No, they do this a lot just so they can get the head start with an early pickoff onto like a Witch Doctor that's trying to harass and zone out, what seems to be an offlane solo Jakiro or something like that. If it is Fear playing it, though, that could give it away. So we'll have to see what they do with that. I was thinking instinctively it might just be a tri-lane, safe lane Jakiro as well with Doom in the offlane. I know that the Universe has been playing and practicing Doom a little bit more. We'll have to wait and see what they prioritize, but it is a little bit scary going aggro tri-lane because if you do fail, you're going to probably lose 3 lanes if you do fail because your Tide Hunter is going to win. Mid is, it depends on what EG wants from mid. I think this is probably going to be their mid hero. It just depends on what they're willing to sacrifice.
So mid-hero wise, the Naga did get banned. I was actually thinking Naga would fit in well here, but banned out in last position by Empire. No Viper, no Razor. Assuming they want an Arteezy hero, I don't know. It's tough to call. Like, you're not going to pick something like a PA, I don't think. You don't want to be trying to engage into a Slardar with a PA for obvious reasons. So do they go something that is much more farm oriented, or do they go something that's a little bit more fighting oriented? It was EG that actually banned TA themselves, so that's not going to be an option. And they're taking their time now with this 5th pick. What do you have on the brain? What do you think would fit?
Yep. I'm thinking Clockwork,
Yeah. What a call. What a call.
Be interesting to see if Arteezy plays this. I think Fear plays the Clockwork a lot. Arteezy's playing the Doom. Okay. So it's going to be what? Jakiro for Universe? And then, nope, he's going to take the Clock. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I thought they would actually, I know that Universe can play Clock, but I've been really impressed with Fear's Clockwork too. So they want this one position for Fear on the Jakiro and Arteezy on the Doom. Very different draft from EG. I do think it has, I don't know, I actually think the Team Empires is pretty scary late game. I know they have the Doom on the side of EG, but they have a ton of negative armor, which is obviously good for physical damage for Team Empire. Like Invoker, Slardar, Vengeful Spirit. I'm saying Invoker because those Forge Spirits do a lot of negative armor when they stack up.
Very much overlooked in a lot of cases, too. Like, you just think of the Forge Spirits as just some summons or something that run around, but yeah, they do have a few other effects, or that one in particular, to go with them. Immediate smoke out of EG, and let's see where they want to head. They've got Universe busting out towards bottom with a ward that was given to him very quickly. Doesn't have boots. He's actually saving all of his gold. He bought nothing whatsoever for himself, and looks like that's going to be just a 100% bottle rush, I suppose.
He's just probably waiting to see, kind of feel out the lanes of Empire, and then
you think so?
Yeah, purchase items accordingly. I think a bottle rush would be very weird. I don't think.
Yeah, I do too.
I've seen him do this a lot. He's probably just like, he'll scout out what he sees. Because basically it's this. If they go aggro on Empire, he doesn't want to buy boots because that would just lose him the lane.
Right.
So
that makes sense.
But he's actually not buying boots anyway. Whatever. I don't know. We're reading too much into this. He's got his items now. There is a ward countered up by Empire. Just totally intuitive thinking there from Empire, and they countered out. So nicely done. Clock's gonna have to do some shenanigans. There's the GLHFs from the PPD, and that smoke was very awkward too. Like, they smoked, and 2 people were sitting there forever in the base. Yeah. Universe went bottom, and then 2 went top. So they didn't get anything out of the smoke. The war got countered. It's a relative disaster in the early game, but it's still the early game, and nothing's really happened.
Yep. And let's see, are we going to have someone get in trouble going for the rune again? Nope. Haste's going to be spotted and taken by someone in this bottom lane. It is the Doom that gets the bounty, so Arteezy will be happy about that. Always one of Fly's keeping an eye on it. And Zai will go ahead and depart. Going to head his way to top. Arteezy, starting in mid, will get a Devour as soon as he can. They're actually starting with Zai in mid for the moment. And yeah, Arteezy, is he going to Devour then go into mid? Or, yeah, surely that's what's going to happen. They're just not going to waste the lane time. But Universe doing the cute little trick with the trees here. You think they'll ever patch this out?
Probably not, no. I mean, it's annoying and it's pretty good, and I actually don't see many players do this anymore with Clock, but Clock's just not drafted as much anymore. But he's going to get a free level 2. Haste Rune's not going to be that effective from Always Want to Fly as a result. Silent taking some damage from tower, but quickly does the tower trick. And then mid, if you saw, yeah, of course, Arteezy went to the jungle. I'm wondering if more players will try to do this, but Scandal blocked so well, and they didn't really block on the side of EG, that it actually had the creeps go into his tower, which effectively makes it more difficult to CS on your tower. Sometimes there's like a mind game thing. It's like, I'm just not going to block at all, and now you have to deal with, like if you did that against, for instance, a Shadow Fiend, it's really bad because that hero does not have the highest base damage.
What was it that Sing Sing did? I like Sing Sing's little trick, and this is just other little tricks and mind games that go into it. Saw a video, and this has been a week or 2 now, if not longer. He was a level 1 disruptor and took glimpse at level 1 and then just ducked into mid and glimpsed the enemy hero back as he was trying to block.
Oh, really?
And, yeah. Well, it didn't actually work because he grabbed creep aggro. Because
I was gonna say, like, I feel like he would grab creep aggro.
Yep, but still, just saying, there's stuff that can be done that's cool and innovative. All right.
You could.
I read Reddit too.
You could glimpse him, and then once he walks back, you smoke, and then the creeps lose your aggro.
That's a lot though, just to screw up a block.
I know.
That's level 1 glimpse plus a smoke, just to screw up a block, and then That would be so trolly, though. It's like,
something he would
serious?
do, though. All right.
Are you serious right now? It's a dual mid, basically. I was wondering if Zai was going to spend all of his time here if he was going to end up backing. This is actually working out quite well for EG. Fear is farming really well on this core Jakiro. And they're not keeping Yoki out of XP range. That's kind of a forlorn hope. They are at least making him a little scared and giving him some burn damage here or there. You have another liquid fire level 2. God, look at this. These big waves that are shoving towards Silent. And if there's anything that Empire's got to be happy about, Universe is getting what he wants. He's getting levels and some gold. But so long as Silent continues to farm at the pace he's on, he should have a very quick blink dagger, and they're going to be able to get active. Just look at PPD and Yoki go toe-to-toe. Like, these two have basically been playing right in each other's pocket since the horn blew. And, yeah, there's actually going to be a crush out of Silent even. He's trying to keep him out of the tower, as you had said. Just doing what he can to manage the creep equilibrium from now. In the meantime, there's a dive on the Scandal in mid. Arteezy right on him. Arteezy just level 3. Stun from Always Wanna Fly bought him time, and Scandal's going to end up alive because of it. Zai wants to chase him down, but can't through the ice wall. Taking a lot of tower damage now, and Arteezy, oh, there's a Sunstrike! Not enough damage, though. Looked like it was going to be enough, but it's so early in the game. Only 1 point into Exhort. Thought for sure that was going to be enough damage. Instead, no first blood yet, despite it getting real hairy here in mid.
Yep, I was wondering if he like misinvoked the ice wall because he threw it really far in front of himself, but nonetheless he does live. I actually think that the little bit of heal that came in from Always Wanna Fly maybe saved him too. He had points in Quas too, which gives him the passive regen, which is nice. And he actually puts the extra point into Exort right now. Thought he would maybe put into Quas for some added regen bonus. This could get denied by Always Wanna Fly, and it does. Nicely played there by the Witch Doctor up in top rune.
Doesn't have a bottle, so not the biggest deal in the world. But the other one did get picked up by Universe, and Universe has made his way towards mid. Are they going to try to do something cute here? They've got 3 hanging out. He actually shoots the flare. That should give away where he is. The angle from which that came, there's only one place it would have come from. And looks like he will go ahead and make his way back down the bottom. Speaking of bottom, bottle. Back for Silent. And I really hope Silent just goes Treads Blink. Like, almost every other build I see on Slaughter just fails. Like, what do you think? Do you think there's room for something else, or just go straight up Treads Blink?
No, I agree. I agree with you. I think that just trying to get fancy on the Slaughter pick is not something you can afford to do. I just think the hero has his limitations. He has a very, very nice skill set for doing one particular thing. I feel like I'm doing a trailer from the movie Taken right now. But but I don't know. Silent, he does love his Midas. I love my Midas too, but not on Slardar. I guess it's not bad because, like you mentioned, it's not terrible on heroes, even in situations like this where they benefit directly from attack speed. But I'm still not a fan. I still think just Treads Blink is the standard and the build that works the best.
I mean, if you just ever seen it, the big thing is Slaughter just falls off so quick in so many situations. Always Wanna Fly. Caught from the low ground. EG is going to secure a kill here. And it's going to be first blood, but they're going to get up Arteezy in exchange for it. And Scandal's the one who was in the range for that. So I don't know. I think first blood advantage is nice. I think it's a break even at most. EG does get a little bit more gold. Experience change actually does slightly favor Empire. So yeah, about what I thought. Break even. Fear in the meantime is right on top of Yoki. Actually gets caught with a cast. Does manage to get the kill. In the meantime, he's going to lay out a macro fire just for the hell of it. That's all of his mana. Now he can't dual breath, and Always Wanna Fly is just trying to body block, and this is a very tanky Jakiro. And yeah, he's falling back. He's like, he even takes time to turn and liquid fire. And he got him with a Sunstrike. So EG responding to try and help. There's a cast that's going to get a couple of... only 2 bounces. Thought it was going to bounce back to the high ground. Nice shot there from Scandal, though.
That was such a nice shot. I thought Fear was going to turn around since he had reinforcements. So I was like, oh, this isn't going to hit. He's going to turn around and try to get the counter kill on Always Wanna Fly. But just kept booking it and just barely hit him. Very nicely placed by Scandal. And that's I talked about this. That's extra experience going his way. So look at this. This is the mid Doom who just dinged 5. And now you got a 6.5 level Invoker. Yep. And I agree. I think that exchange was actually beneficial to the side of Empire because it was the Ogre that got the first blood. So,
yep. Ogre that got the first blood and Scandal that got the kill. Not necessarily the full credit, but he got the experience share from the kill onto Arteezy. And yeah, it's just a minute ago he very narrowly missed out on a Sunstrike kill because he only had 1 level into Exhort. Now he's got 4. Speaking of behind, Solo caught. EG right on him, and yep, easy peasy. As PPD makes it 2-1 for him. Peter getting a little farm. Good for old Petey. Getting something working. Not going to be running around on brown boots and iron branches all game.
Yep, that's pretty good for him. He's bought a magic wand, and it wasn't the Midas, so thank God for that. He's going to be just the treads into Blink build as we both expected.
Better be.
I think this is good for him to not get involved. Like, yeah, you want to get involved early on a Slardar, but it's similar to like a Clinks. I think it's better for a Clinks to just sit there, be persistent, get your Orchids up or whatever you want, and then go. But don't try to force it early just because you feel like your team can fight early.
Yep. No, I completely agree with you. There's no reason for a Slardar, just based on experience and having seen him played. Every time I see a Slardar just fall flat on its face, it's because, one, he TPs around too much, and even if he's getting kills here and there, unless he's just snowballing, it's usually not enough. He needs to just sit in a lane, farm a Blink, and then go fight. Like, and don't stop fighting. Like, don't go try to farm a lane for 3 minutes. You know, it just doesn't work. But when it's, yeah, whenever they do any departure from that build, whenever I see players, like you were saying, move around too much, try to force things before the Blink is out, that's when you start to see it get ugly. There is a deny on the tower at the top tier 1. Taking a look at Yoki. Where is Yoki? Yeah, his farm, about 17, same for the clock, so could be worse across the board. Universe is actually going for a flat-out Blade Mail.
Okay, it's not bad. Gives them some decent stats. It's actually a very cost-efficient item in terms of stats and what it gives. Good armor, good mana, good damage, all that jazz. But yeah, Slardar, he's closing in on his Blink. Here comes initiation on the PPD. Double TP instantly. Is it going to be enough? It is.
Down already. Let's see. Can they catch anyone? Universe has Hook. And how aggressive does he want to be? He's going to go on to Scandal. Big kill if they can get it. Macro Pyre is down. Ice Path is down. And they got him with the cogs at the last minute. And, you know, that's a very good decision from Universe. We'll come to that in a minute. I want to see if they want to re-engage. Doesn't look like they do. Universe could have cogged immediately whenever he went in. But he held on to them. Yep, and now there's going to be another Ice Path. Now they're going to be engaging uphill. Silent gets doomed.
I don't...
And what...
Don't ask me, man. I don't know.
Why are they fighting uphill without... Oh, he actually did have Ravage. Never mind. That was, to me, that's the breaking point. If they had Ravage and they thought maybe there was 1 or 2 uphill and they were just trying to crowd, but still, this is very dark and this is very scary. This is a bad place to go under most circumstances.
That's exactly what I'm talking about. Like trying to force an issue on Slardar without your Blink, and not only that, it was just the weirdest decision to walk up like that. Like, what did he expect was going to happen?
Yep.
That was the weirdest thing I've seen in a while. But that's going to delay his Blink, and this is the hero that really needs to snowball with a Blink specifically. And now he's actually sprinting towards mid. He's given up the farm on the bottom, and this is going to look like a 14-minute, 15-minute Blink perhaps on a free farming Slardar. Yep. Not where you want to be.
Nope, not whenever the opposing Jakiro, who was also the other farming core, has his Yules already. But anyway, yeah, they did have Ravage there. I did not think the Tide had hit 6 yet. I mean, he's coming up on 7 now. But still, like you said, optimistic at best is probably the phrase to use. But anyway, I want to talk a minute about the way Universe played that out. I think it was so good. When he hooked in onto Scandal, he could have immediately cogsed, but then they would have been overlapping a lot. He held on to his cogs. The Macro Pyre and the Ice Path held him in place, and it was only after the Ice Path melted that he used the cogs at the last second. I feel like that was actually really well done because the instinct has to be, anytime you play Clockwork, to immediately cog after you hit your target. You know, it's just the instinct. But the coordination, the teamwork, and the decision-making just on point.
Yeah, I did question a little bit his decision to cast the Battery Assault right after he went in because there was like 5 creeps next to him. So
yeah.
That didn't really do anything. But yeah, I do agree with the delayed cogs. He's actually maxed out the Rocket Flare. Midas, I believe, for, I'm guessing, Arteezy. I saw it popped up on someone as it's heading towards Arteezy. Yeah, so Artur has the Midas now for him. Sending back that quality Ring of Protection with the positive 3 armor buff. And Scandal sitting down here all by his lonesome. And they're going to need to fight here in the woods.
Arteezy has Doom up. Solo shows his face. PPD. There's a swap. Arteezy gets the Doom off on the Solo. Should have gotten on the Yoki. Bit of a mistake there. They will be able to bring him down. The Ravage does catch 3, but they're very well spread. Here comes Universe. That's going to save Arteezy. Always want to fly. Has to run. And the Ravage from Yoki accomplishing very little. Arteezy actually re-engages. Now chopping on the tide. Behind that, we're going to see Scandal caught by Fear and PPD. And the magic missile isn't enough. It is. That actually saves him. Solo should get caught from behind and will. They got the Tide Hunter as well. And magic stick, magic wand. Oh, wow, Solo. Why?
No, that was a really good play, actually. He got the counter kill. He almost got the full experience of it beforehand.
Yep.
But it was very nice. I think a very nice executed decision there. And in the meantime, with Slardar in that fight, he does have Blink now. I don't know if he was.
No, he wasn't.
Okay, see, it's funny because that's the fight he should have been in, and the other one he shouldn't have, because that one was like a response to them coming into your jungle, but the other one was just him like trying to force it. But nonetheless, he does have his Blink now. They should probably suspect this because he was just up there, ran away, and now he's hiding. Fear should definitely expect this. Can he get the Yules off in time is the question. Can't.
Nope, Sunstrike on the way as well, and he gets it off at the last second. Nobody's coming to help, though. He's going to lay down an Ice Path just to waste time. Macro Pyre as well to burn damage. But Silent able to secure the kill nonetheless. Expect this match to pick up in its pace as both teams look combat ready. Blade Mail now done on Universe. Arteezy did go Midas, but he's going to want to fight sooner rather than later. And Always Want to Fly going to be hit with the Ancient Seal as well as the Mystic Flare. Silent re-engages, though, inside. Dying very quickly. Oh, the hook comes in, but misses just barely. They may be able to get Silent nonetheless. He is hustling with Sprint. And I think the Doom's going to kill him anyway. Are they going to try to deny him? I think that's the plan. Yeah. They're going to wait it out.
I think he's fine. I think he's fine.
Yep, survives with 50 HP.
I'm very bad at that. Like, I've called that poorly one time, so I gotta be really meticulous about it.
Oh! Oh, Universe got him! Oh, he turned around! What was he doing? I think he might have gotten away. I was watching. I saw the rocket coming. I thought he was going to keep walking, but he actually turned around and took it right in the mouth and died. Universe from downtown secures the kill on the Slardar. Now they're looking to push mid off of it. And there's the Macro Pyre laid down. Always Want to Fly. Eats about half his health bar worth of damage.
Radiant structures are fortified.
And I think they just take this tower without any muss or fuss. Behind that, actually, they do manage to catch Solo again. Solo gets a stun on Arteezy. Arteezy there to complete the kill. And God, that hurts so much for him to die there. He is going BKB next, though. Does have up his Ogre Club.
Yep. Well, when the Doom gets Ags, I believe it will finally purge the Sprint once he does get the Ags. Could be wrong about that, but I think it does. I've messed up on several changes after they've changed this Doom several times. So picks up the Midas, has another 3,000 gold. So he is very, very farmed at this point. Probably will get the typical Sunstrike actually going to Roshan, expected it out, but not going to see anything. Probably the typical Blink. I imagine he would buy it, though, if he has this much gold. Could it be a Lothar's? We'll see. Blink on Tide, though, speaking of Blink.
10-8. EG. Blinks coming out. Like you said, mobility items coming out on both sides. It is EG's lead, 4,000 and 2,000, give or take. Solo could be spotted out again, and Arteezy using that invis. See if they want to do something cute. Universe going to get eyes on Solo as he pops up here. And, yep, there's a magic missile. Here comes Scandal. This is actually bad for them. He's actually going to doom out Solo and not Scandal. There's the Ice Path. He's going to chase down Solo in the meantime. Fear gets off the dual breath, and now there's the follow from PPD on the Scandal. Scandal doesn't have a single point in the Wex yet. Can't Ghost Walk, and is going to end up dead because of it. And here comes Slardar. Oh, so quick from Fear. Silent couldn't even get off the Slithering Crush. He ended up getting caught with the Yules first. And he's going to end up dead. One last auto attack secures it. A double kill for Fear. That was so fast. Such a good reaction. And saved himself and most likely a teammate or two.
Yeah, really nicely done. Arteezy does bite the dust, though, as he rushes in there. And he's going to go for just a straight-up Ags. So no blink up yet for him. And I think it does purge it. So he's like, this Slardar's just going to get screwed if I doom you. Also just the extra damage, the added duration once you're around him. But yeah, very nicely played by Fear. Nice counter initiation Clockwork to jump in there afterwards. And I think EG's starting to snowball here.
Oh, yeah. What happened to Arteezy? I was watching the
YOLO mode. I don't know.
he just YOLO'd and like right into the base and died.
He was like over here or something, but yeah, I don't know.
Anyway, engagement again. They're toying with them in mid. Jakiro and Ogre is such a good combination, man. Like, it's so strong. I don't think you can allow it to happen. Like, I think you really have to prioritize banning one of the two.
Well, against EG, of course, yeah. Like, especially the Jakiro. I just think they play it very well. They know what to do. Like, Ogre is okay, but I think Jakiro is really at the core of EG's strategy right now in this metagame.
Yep. I would argue first pick, first ban worthy when played correctly. Let's see what Empire's got up their sleeve. The Venge, poor. Witch Doctor, poor. Invoker, poor. Actually, why don't we take a look at the net worth? Yeah, oh wow, the Invoker's less farmed than the Tide. That is not where you want to be right now. He has died too many times. He's died twice. And now they're going to engage. They got two that time. The Sunstrike coming in, but look at Kim with the Yules. So quick. Doesn't prevent the Ravage, though. This is the win that Empire's been looking for. Universe caught two with the Cogs, but he's taking too much damage. Here comes PB to try to chase it back out. Silent in the meantime being healed up by Always Want to Fly. And they're going to try to pursue this out. There's a cast going to get at least one good bounce. Solo might end up dead behind this, and oh, PPD turned and tried to make something happen, but that's the win they've been wanting and needing. And that time, well executed by Empires. EG got caught asleep at the wheel. Two hit with the Slithering Crush, and everything went downhill from there. And he just got a third kill.
Sunstrike.
Yeah.
Very nicely done. Very good ballsy play there by Slardar or Silent. That's exactly how you have to play him. You really have to snowball like that. Oh man, they almost got another one.
I saw
Global
that.
Rocket.
Oh man, he almost killed him. Oh, that's and how did they just guess? Because
No, he has a ward. So this ward right
Well,
here.
he has this one. Did he just? But I mean, he still just had to guess he was going here to farm.
Yeah, he had a general idea, but he couldn't actually see specifically where he was.
Well, nice attempt, but Universe went fishing twice and only came up with a winner once. Either way, nice fight from Empire, and that actually cuts EG's lead way down. Like, you're talking more than halfway down. That's big, big, big for them.
Experience is actually in favor of Empire. That was a 4,000 experience swing. The big thing is that the Tide was able to get the Ravage off. Like, it was a fantastic play by Fear. He was really fast with that Yules. But if they had, like, the Doom come out faster onto him, I think Darteezy was the one that got stunned by the Slithering Crush, too. Like, something happened to him where he was getting tied up. I think it was the Slardar with the initiation.
It was him inside that got stunned.
Okay. Yeah, and wasn't able to follow up. If he gets a Blink now, I think these fights are a lot easier for EG. I'm really surprised he didn't go for the Blink before the Ags. Fear he was stuck in there using his Liquid Fire. And he just blinks away. But yeah, he definitely needs a Blink now.
And
oh, man.
Scandal kills off Arteezy. Arteezy got the Doom on. But yeah, Zai can't do anything here. And he's just going to be melted down by the Forge Spirits. So Empire suddenly...
Look at that Doom damage. It does so much. It almost kills him. Oh my god, one more tick. I think he dies. That Ag's Doom upgrade is legit, even when he's not around to stop the ticker from going down.
20-minute Midas for the Invoker. So Scandal been playing catch up, but he's now 6-2. He had a triple kill to add to his 2-2, and then that solo kill on Arteezy. So he's really beginning to come into his own. And EG has been looking good, but now it just feels like they need to put it all together again. Like the initiation of Empire was excellent last time. BKB is going to be done, either is done or could be done soon. Nope, looks like it's going to be done at about 1,000 gold for the Slardar. So BKB's big item against the EG squad. He gets a BKB, he's going to feel very manly. And up at top, looks like Empire.
Oops, I was muted. My bad.
Muted. Yeah, it's okay. Happens.
I said something really smart too, I swear.
No. Go ahead. Give it another try.
I was just saying this BKB is huge because if he just zones in on Arteezy every fight, I think they just win the fight. EG's lineup is not very late game centric at all. It's very much centered around the Doom, and that's about it. Like, it's centered around the Doom and initiation from Clockwork and THD. And if Doom gets taken out from the fights, especially when he's invested in Ags, I don't think they can win a fight unless they really commit a ton of spells to killing the Doom and they're in position to sacrifice as a result. But yeah, BKB is a big item, and he can't get Doom too because it'll go through that anyway.
Yep. 4-man smoke out of Empire. And they're not going to be able to find anybody. Looks like EG sniffs it out. Suspects something is up. And they're going to sweep all the way across now. And Slaughter. Oh, he actually overshot. Zai doubles back. Cask is there. They're not going to solo Ravage, I don't think. They don't need to. Death Ward used to secure the kill. So it cost them a little bit more than they would have liked ability-wise, but they nonetheless bring Zai down and take their first kill lead of the game, up to 15-14 now.
That was actually a pretty heads-up play by Zai. Like, he knew he was coming and just stopped. I think if he stopped right there, instead of going backwards, if he just, like, walked towards the Slardar, his teammates were actually over there, it would have been an even better play. But nice idea, just couldn't execute.
Empire looking solid, man. They've, yeah, look at this. Taking the lead for the first time in about 20 minutes. And the issue, I don't know, like, it's so tough to call. Like, neither of these teams have what you would consider a traditional late game carry. Like, just someone you want to farm and feel confident about. So, looking ahead to the late game, who do you give the advantage here?
Empire. I think that, yeah, definitely. Like, I know it's weird saying that because they have a Slardar, but Slardar can do very good damage in the late game. It's just if you get your early BKB, which you almost always do after Blink, the problem still arises that you have this low duration Blink, low duration BKB in like 50 minutes, and it just becomes not as useful. But you have a Venge on your team, and I think Venge is like the hero that really bridges, you know, quasi late game lineups into an actual powerhouse in the late game. He just adds so much to the team fight. Tide is amazing late game. Invoker is actually transitioning late game with the Midas. I think it's not so much that their late game is good, it's more of that EG's is non-existent without the Doom. It really is.
Yep. I agree with you. And Doom is not a hero that, I mean, he's amazing. He does a lot of great things in the late game, but you don't really build him to be like the, oh, I'm going to jump on you and right-click you to death kind of hero.
Right.
You know? Like, that's just not what he does. A Slardar, at the very least, despite all of his weaknesses in the late game, does want to do that. He wants to be in your face, he wants to be bashing your head in, and he wants to be stacking bodies pretty quickly. If this does go late, I feel like so much of it's going to depend on the play from Universe. To me, Clockwork, much like the way you said about, you know, what you said about Venge, you know, she's that bridge to turn a lineup into a powerhouse. I feel like a Clockwork is the X factor on any lineup. You know, late game Clockwork, I mean, you can build him 1,000 different ways. So long as it involves tanking up and getting some mana and whatever else the team needs, you're fine. But a well-played Clock that is just zoned in and is cutting fights in half and is picking heroes off and is getting 2- and 3-man cogs, that can eliminate any kind of other advantage a side has. So if this ends up going another 30 minutes or so, we could end up seeing Universe with a lot of weight on his shoulders. Roshan under assault, and that will be spotted by the Rocket Flare. They're still going to stick with it. EG's on the way. They're going to go. They got to go now. Universe is going to hook in, and Slaughter does get the Aegis to get the cogs down. There's Fear who comes in behind. It's a beautiful ice path. Macropyre goes down as well. They're going to try. No, the Ravage on the money. Very bizarre decision from EG to decide to engage at that angle. Universe going in, I understand. Even he probably should have held off. We're going to see Zai cleaned up by the Slardar. That's a 4-man wipe. I didn't even see how in the hell Universe got out. I'm going to guess 4 staff. But that was a bad decision. Bad series of decisions.
Oh, Universe is actually going to get a counter kill at the very least. On Always Want to Fly. Casts the Battery Assault and 4 staffs in, but a horrible, horrible fight for EG. And that just comes down to what I said at the beginning. The negative armor from Empire is massive. Like, you killed... This is what I'm talking about. You have in your mind an idea of how fast a team can Roshan with this lineup. You're like, okay, they can Rosh pretty fast, and they actually see it with the Rocket. It's down to about half HP. They're like, okay, it's half HP. Let's go in. We're relatively close. But you have to account for like the extra bit of negative armor that they have, and they just didn't account for that mentally. So it died way faster than they thought it did. Had it been like, say, if the Slardar was like a Potom or whatever else instead of a Slardar with a negative 15 armor. Actually, he's level 16. It's negative 20. If he had been a different hero, they actually, I think, maybe win that fight. But because of the negative armor, they don't.
Yeah. Well, it was just odd the way they decided to go in there, too. As he went in late after the Aegis had already been picked up and Roche had already died. And then Fear came in right here and was behind the cogs trying to hit Ice Pass and Macropyres out. So he's hemmed in. He can't get to safety at all. And behind that, you have RTZ and PPD who wander downhill, and I don't want to miss any action. I do want to draw it, but Silence actually got eyes on RTZ and may just engage him here. Let's see.
Scorched Earth is down too, so he doesn't have it. He needs to make sure that someone else comes, or at the very least, he's gonna get doomed still. Okay.
Yep, he's dead either way. And Ice Path Doesn't matter, as he activated the BKB. So well played there, and a very high-profile kill for him. But yeah, back to that Roche fight then. RTZ and PPD walked down this way, so you had 2 here and 2 here. Then they turned, killed them, and then they turned and killed Fear after the Clockwork Force staffed out. So it was just a very weird way. Like it was a pincer maneuver in the wrong way. Like you needed to be grouped and being able to get your guns forward there. Either way, Empire, I feel, is in control of this game without a question. 5,000 gold their advantage. Your experience is up to 10,000. And now this Invoker is really beginning to become what they want him to be. He's got Book 2. He'll have Book 3 very soon after this tower drops. And Yoki's Ravages have been good. I'm telling you, man, I think Yoki's the most, as of right now, and again, I'm not trying to degrade anyone on Empire. I think Empire is full of individually skilled players, some of the best in the world. But Yoki is the one that intrigues me the most, and I want to see, I don't know anything about him, really. I just know what we've seen, and I have seen a lot that is impressive.
Yeah, I mean, that was a really good Ravage by him. Also, the casks, when Peter and RTC, they just kind of like walked in. And they even without the Ravage was great. It was like the icing on the cake. But even without the Ravage, that cask was going to bounce 8 times between the 2 heroes. And they were not going to cast a spell. So it was just overall, quite simply, a big mistake to actually try to fight there in Roche. They should just give it up. But anyway, as we're moving forward here, I still think Ichi's in a very bad spot. I think their lineup just suffers horribly in the late game. It really relies on a Doom. He has to get Refresher. There's no question about it. He absolutely has to get Refresher if they want to win this game. And Ichi's a
very... Does it go Refresher? Or does it go like right-click?
No.
Like they need right-click.
He can't. Because he's going to be the focus no matter what anyway. And he can't right-click Slardar. Like, Slardar will win. Just because of the innate power of being able to bash. So you cannot build right. It has to be a Refresher, in my opinion.
Middle tower is under attack.
He's got to figure something out. And then what you say makes sense. It just, I don't know how EG expects to fight late without right click, some sort of it. Like they literally don't have a single right clicker, not one. If the Doom goes Refresher, like it's one thing to be like, well, they don't have a lot of late game potential. Like they literally don't have anyone. If Doom doesn't build right click, they have no one who can do anything through BKB.
They also don't have, like, huge, call me crazy, but huge teamfight AoE potential. Like, Clockwork is nice, but imagine if the Clockwork was instead the Tidehunter with double Ravage. I think they have the potential to actually win a teamfight just through sheer AoE burst. Not really burst, but AoE, you know, damage, you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. No, I'm on board with you. I am on board. As it turns out, though, Empire, not on board and not interested. And... Fear being cheeky does get the tier 2 bottom after using the Yules, and now will blink away. If you're EG, how do you play this out? I mean, I feel like you've got to be feeling a sense of ultra urgency. Like you can't, like your best chance to win is right now. Every minute that goes by, your chances for winning go down exponentially. So it's not like, well, I guess we'll go ahead and build this on the Doom. I don't think it can be that. I think it needs to be, okay, let's just do anything we can to prevent the fact that we have to build Doom that way if we do go late. And... yeah, they smoke again and catch no one.
Yeah, I actually broke the smoke. Thinking maybe it had to be Universe in front, but he's actually tried to move away, but it wasn't in time. So that's some wasted time, unfortunately. And I agree, like, there is urgency. They need to get something done, but I don't think outside of, like, smoke gangs like that, which unfortunately failed, that they can actually take any kind of fight whatsoever. So call me crazy. I actually think EG has to play this passively and just try to farm up and look for very smart engagements, and then maybe fight at the high ground once Empire comes. But even then, it's risky. Doom is getting still decent farm. That's just the nature of the hero. I'm very curious to see what he goes for. He might feel the need to get BKB, and I wouldn't think that's crazy if he did. Like that would seem standard and very understandable if that's what he did. But after that, I think he absolutely has to get a refresher, just because they need to take these heroes out of the fight, specifically the Tide, and of course the Slardar.
Yeah, they're gonna need it very desperately, as you said. And the Assault Cuirass now done on silent, by the way. He is our highest farmed hero with the Invoker right behind him. Speaking of the Invoker, 2,100 gold to go with Midas Force Book 3. And EG is definitely in dodge mode. You can see it, you can feel it. Their positioning and everything about the way they're playing, even the way they're farming, is basically reliant upon how many heroes do we see on the map. If we don't see everyone, then we have to be careful. Because RTZ can't afford to die anymore. RTZ's died 6 times this game. 6. Way too many. He's died more than PPD. He has a worse KD than PPD does right now on the Ogre Magi.
Yep, kind of unfortunate. But, yeah, he's farming up. Yeah, like I said, it's probably going to be a BKB first from him, just because outside of the passive bash from the Slardar, he just gets... There's so many stuns. So many stuns on Empire. There's one, technically like 8 from Witch Doctor. Invoker has several. You have Tidehunter that's probably going to build a Refresher next. And this, I like, I gotta say, maybe I'm biased, but I like the Western build of Tidehunter way more than the Eastern one.
Oh, God,
It just seems like it makes so much more
man.
sense.
Yeah, well, it comes down to playstyle. Western teams tend to be much more aggressive and tend to want to make a lot more things happen. Whereas I feel like the Eastern teams are almost always in defensive mode by default. Like, even like the Eastern teams, when they are being aggressive, it's almost in a defensive manner. Like, they're going to smoke and go try to take a big gank. But if they run 5-on-3, they might look at those 3 and go, don't know. And then they'll run away, you know? Whereas in the West, that's very rarely the situation. Like, so having a mech up on the Tide, making him as much more of a counter initiator than an initiator, I think just fits the general way a lot of those teams play. But Western Doto is some fun Doto to watch.
It is. It's very fun. And Solo is very farmed as well on the Vengeful Spirit. And it's also a great hero. We see it typically against heroes like, you know, the Void, for example, but it's actually good against Clockwork too, swapping someone out of the cogs before follow-up initiation happens after the hook. So if he hooks onto someone, tries to cogs, RTC tries to follow up with a Doom, if he's fast with his swap onto a hero like, you know, for instance, Tide, then that means Tide can still get off his Ravage. And yeah, so he's got that swap. He's got Drums, Medallion, and a Vlad's for himself. Very, very farmed. I'd like to see him get a Blink. It's very good on Vengeful Spirit.
Oh, yeah. I think Solo has played fairly well. And yeah, I mean, I'm continuing to bounce around. Like, Empire can take their time here. And it's one of the rare times you can say that about a team with a Slardar as their one position. Usually, they're the ones that are feeling very urgent. And the draft this time just not favoring that for EG. We're coming up on 35 minutes in now. Another smoke out of Empire. This is going to be Silent, Always Want to Fly, and Solo on the Slardar, the Witch Doctor, and the Venge, respectively. We're going to end up walking by a ward and Sentry. No vision there, though.
Oh, no, RTZ.
Yep, RTZ.
He's, oh my God. Blown up.
Like, what do you even do? Like, if that's your tankiest, most farm-dependent hero at this stage of the game, like, this is getting a...
Yeah. Sorry to cut you off. I actually think
you're
EG's just going to call it, like, pretty soon.
Yeah.
I'm not even kidding.
I'm actually a little shocked they didn't. Like, EG's usually pretty quick on the trigger with that. Whenever Peter just looks and goes, there's a nice path. They're going to fight it out. They lose Rax, they might. And just look how quick the Rax is dying to summons and with an alacrity and everything else. Oh, no. And this is that Vengeance Aura coming into play. Buyback on RTZ. This might be their last hurrah.
And Universe set an uncharacteristic hook onto... they were trying to have RTZ buy back with the hook, but Universe hooked his teammate. So, and he doesn't have an ag, so it's not like it's not a big deal. It's kind of a big deal because it's a longer cooldown. And Empire smartly back off, and what do you know? Watch how fast this goes down. 1, 2, like less than 3 seconds.
Yep.
Literally.
And now they're just going to run down a lane. They've got a ton of farm at bottom. Yeah, they're going to send at least someone down to deal with that. Looks like it'll be Always Want to Fly. So the match might go a little bit longer, but EG down to their death rattle, their gasping breaths here in game 1. And it started out looking super positive for EG. I mean, the first 0 to, say, 15, 18 minutes was a steady downward slope for EG. Then before you know it, Arteezy's died a couple of times. There's been a couple of big ravages, and a Roshan's down, and you lose a fight at the Roche Pit. And now you find yourself on the ugly end of a 10,000 gold deficit. And the experience is just absurd. It's getting into 20k territory. And like, I think we've beat it to death. I don't know what they do. Like, RTZ got the BKB as you anticipated. Good call. But what's that BKB really going to do? It's like, oh, yay, you can stay alive and doom one person while the other 4 kill everyone, ever, all over the place.
Yeah. Barring some massive, massive throw by Empire, I don't think there's a possible way EG gets back into this game. Solo is actually trying to ward in here. They spotted him out, and he actually is going to die.
Nice path. And, yep, RTZ there with the level death and the Fire Blast and PPD. So he'll be down for 50-some seconds. Universe still down, but we'll be back up shortly.
This is an interesting ward by Peter. You see this? Right by his, to the right of his main camp.
Oh, right here?
Right here. You see this?
Right.
Right there? By that main camp. A little, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Kind of a cool spot.
And what's the purpose of that versus the other one, you think? Just to be able to see?
Just extra
like right
extra
here?
vision in these little nooks and crannies that Empire might.
Do it with flair.
Oh. Can you hear me?
I got you.
I crashed, so give me a second.
No problem. Happens from time to time. This is a very passive stage of the game now, as Empire doesn't want to give anything away for free. They do still have an Aegis, and I think when the Venge comes up, they'll look to put it to usage. And Silent, the one carrying it, finds himself a regen rune. He'll be happy about that. EG just trying to hold the line while they can. They do have a couple of defensive wards up, but 100% Empire's game to win or to lose, as the bleeding has stopped, but that's more just a product of Empire taking their time. There's a Scepter done on the Witch Doctor as well, so Scepter out on him, quite a big deal, especially against the BKBs that are coming out. Universe would probably like one. There's one already up on Fear, and of course Arteezy has his. Speaking of Fear, he did pick up the Veil of Discord, so magic damage not bad. Problem is they're dealing with BKBs as well. Got one on the Invoker and one on the Slardar. Those are the two main targets. Those are the two Doom targets as well, which is what makes it difficult. Even if you get a refresher and you Doom them both, if you have no follow-up, then yeah, speaking of, Slardar actually caught with the Yules again. This could be his Aegis. Nope, going to be able to make it back out. Tier 3 down in mid, and the summons and everything else going to work on the racks. Just look at how much damage they're doing. And Empire's taking no risks here. Ice Path buys them a little bit of time, but the Forge Spirits, just look at the damage. It's huge. And now Silent's going to go in, catches Arteezy. Death Ward is down, and a beautiful Ravage. What a follow-up. Just like that. They lose everyone. GG. What do you even do when Empire's playing that well? Yoki on point. The initiation, just what they needed. And I dare say, put him on upset alert. Without a doubt, coming into this, EG favored in the series. But Empire flat rocked him. Flat out rocked him here in game number 1.
Yeah, very nice draft from Solo. I think this was a definite outdraft from Empire. And I think that EG was just too reliant on like their ability to win all the lanes and just snowball with, you know, good catch from Takiro. He had an early Yules as well. I think it was like a 12-minute Yules, but one fight can really turn the tides. And when you don't have any really response to their late game, if your best response is a Doom, like that's it as far as right click, I think it's kind of taking it very risky. And that's also that one fight around Roshan was a big mistake, and that was really the nail in the coffin there. But very well played from Team Empire.
Very well played indeed. I just continue to be more and more impressed with Yoki. Doesn't really do it justice, but he played a very nice Tidehunter. 4-3-9 is what he finished up at. Silent Slardar was also it was actually pretty damn good. And yeah, like Scandal on the Invoker 8-3-10. I don't know. Like I can't pinpoint exactly what was wrong with EG other than the draft, but draft only accounts for so much. There were some play problems there as well. Some nice plays. Fear was really good on the Jakiro. His fingers were so fast in terms of using that Yules as a method of counter initiation, but just wasn't enough on its own. And now we look ahead to game 2. I'm your host, Aaron AC Chambers. Thanks again for being a part of the broadcast, guys. This is our second best of 3 of the day. Our second Western best of 3 coming up tonight at 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And if it's 11 Eastern, that makes it 5 a.m., I think, for... No, that can't be right. It's way too late. 11... I don't know. It's 8. It's early. It's going to be breakfast, Doto, as our Eastern playoffs will be